Now that all the charges against Star West have been settled, the time to vote on being represented by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, or IBEW, is here. The voting, which will be done by secret ballot, will happen at your office on either September 7th or September 8th. After the voting, all the ballots will be mixed together and counted as a group, so no one will ever know how an individual or an office voted. The vote will be conducted by the federal government, and you have a right to vote, even if it means leaving a job or driving back to the office. You can check the graphic at the end of this short DVD to see when the vote is happening at your office.
The IBEW is a democratic, nonprofit organization. We rely on members' contributions or dues to keep fighting for our members and negotiating quality contracts for them. Dues for those that choose to become members at Star West will be $20 per month. Because of different laws, you'll have the choice to decide for yourself whether to pay this $20 or get the benefits of working under an IBEW contract without paying anything. Before anyone is asked to pay dues, you'll first be able to read and then vote on the new legally binding contract that your co-workers and IBEW representatives negotiate with management. In short, you'll get a chance to see what the IBEW can offer you before you decide whether to join and pay any dues.
Unions give working people a voice in the decisions that affect them every day at work. Instead of just taking what is given, union members from the IBEW all the way to the NFL Players Association sit across from management as equals and come to reasonable agreements that are set in stone about how work will be done and how much employees will be compensated for doing it. As we've made the rounds at Star West, there's been a lot of issues that have come up at almost every office. All these issues add up, and today, as things stand, a Star West employee only has a 14.8% chance of making it 2 years or more at the company. Now we're going to go through a few of these issues and talk about ways your negotiating team can work with management to come up with solutions that work for both the techs and the company, so that all that turnover, which is costing the company hundreds of thousands of dollars, can be invested back into you, the techs. Keep in mind, your negotiating team is made up of employees and trained IBEW representatives, and all employees are welcome to participate.
One of the biggest issues is coming up with a system for pay raises that is fair and consistent. No IBEW member in America is denied a pay raise because of factors that are beyond their control. Our contracts set specific timelines for pay increases, so with training and doing good work, a tech knows when and for exactly how much they'll get a pay raise. Things that you have no control over, like phone connectivity or canceled jobs, should not be held against you for a raise. By voting in the IBEW, you'll be able to see exactly how Dish Network pays Star West for completed jobs, and you'll be able to develop a pay system and raises that are based on these real numbers, not rumors and changing standards.
Customer satisfaction surveys are another area where techs can be punished for things beyond your control. CSAT discipline needs to be progressive so that fluke customer surveys from 1 or 2 jobs don't end up costing you. Also, techs need to have the ability to add notes to closed jobs when they anticipate a customer will give a bad review because of something outside the normal install. A good example of this is when a customer gets angry because you don't hook up their entertainment system as well as their receiver. Right now, that will create a bad customer survey. With a fair system in your IBEW contract, that situation can be identified before that survey, so it's not held against you down the road. And whether it's for installs or customer surveys, no Star West tech should ever be held to standards beyond what Dish Network requires.
Routing needs to be fair and consistent so that every tech has the opportunity to make good money and achieve good numbers. With a new tablet, there's a lot of potential for misuse by management, and situations can develop where a handful of techs get the best jobs over and over again. Also, recently, some of the techs have told us they are now being sent home to wait for jobs that come in throughout the day. While sitting at home, these techs are not getting paid, which is likely another Star West violation of federal law, and will be one of the first issues we tackle after the vote.
How many times have you been told that your numbers are bad and then not given any more explanation? With an IBEW contract, anything that can be held against you needs to be documented and explained thoroughly. Based on multiple conversations with techs and former managers, it's our understanding that Dish Network pays Star West for multiple categories for each install. Now, these are the same categories in the new pay system that was rolled out back in January. The difference is that when Star West is deficient in one category, Dish Network still pays the company for all the other categories. When you are deficient in one category, you don't get a raise for the other categories that you have good numbers in. By being able to see the real numbers and know what you truly need to work on, you'll be a better tech, and Star West will be a more profitable company.
Work tasks and install procedures need to be made clear and put in writing. IBEW techs at companies like Quest, Verizon, Comcast, and CenturyLink have written install procedures so they know about them and don't get docked when management changes the standards. Management has the right, even with IBEW representation, to specify the way jobs get done. The difference is that techs at IBEW companies don't have to put up with constant changes and inconsistencies. QCs are also done fairly and consistently at IBEW companies. When changes to QC standards are made for specific jobs, they need to be documented by management so you don't get docked later for a bad QC. Also, QCs need to be done randomly so techs can't be targeted by always getting QC'd.
Finally, safety is another huge issue at Star West. Last winter, several trucks were totaled, and techs risked their lives on terrible roads with substandard equipment. Some techs were even fired after wrecking their vehicles on closed and icy winter roads. At meetings last winter, Pete made vague promises about snow tires and chains for vehicles. With IBEW representation, we will use the law to ensure that every vehicle used for installs is properly equipped and safe for all weather conditions. The law protects employees who refuse to do dangerous work, and you'll have backup when you are assigned unreasonable jobs in dangerous conditions. Uniform and tool allowances are also common in IBEW contracts, so that techs don't have to foot the entire bill for equipment that wears out, or for specialized meters that can only be used installing dishes.
These are just a few of the many specific situations that can be covered in your new IBEW contract. Other things like upgrading vacation policy or health insurance premiums are also negotiable. What this vote in a few weeks all boils down to is this. If you want a meaningful seat at the table when decisions are made that affect your job every day, then vote yes. If you are satisfied by taking what you're given without any real input, then vote no. Every decision from starting an IBEW unit to voting on your contract to even voting the union out will include your say and your input.
When Star West employees first came to IBEW more than a year ago, time cards were being changed, overtime wasn't getting paid, and techs didn't even have vacation days that they could take. Because of the pressure that techs like you have put on corporate, things have started to change, but there's still a long ways to go. IBEW isn't out to shut Star West down or fight frivolous battles. By voting for IBEW, you're saying that things can be better at Star West, both for the company and the techs. When turnover is well over 50% a year, something isn't working, and we all know that it sure isn't you. Remember, even if you're on a job, you have a legal right to cast your secret ballot on either September 7th or 8th, depending on what the voting day is at your office. And as always, feel free to call or email with any questions.